1-degree difference. What is the 1-degree difference? Simply put, the 1-degree difference is changing your thinking just by one thought or 1 degree to achieve massive results. When you introduce one new thought, you start to think differently. When you start to think differently, your behavior changes. When your behavior changes, you start doing things differently. When you start doing things differently, you get different results. It all starts with changing your thinking. Why is this important to you? Einstein once said, "You cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created the problem." So how do we change our thinking? Before I answer that question, let's look at how our existing thinking impacts our performance. Our level of performance is determined by what we think about and how we think about it. This thinking pattern comes from our belief systems that we accepted as children, often without critical understanding of what we were accepting. Most of us accept what our parents told us without thinking about it. We accepted what our teachers and spiritual advisors told us. We accepted ideas as true that we learned from watching TV or from other kids on the playground. These beliefs are just below our conscious level of awareness, and they drive our behaviors. These beliefs are the source of our limitations. Over my years as a business coach, I found that skills are easy to teach. Beliefs are a little harder to uncover and change. Bill Bartman is a billionaire. If he told you the keys to his success, and if you copied what he did, you could get the same results, would you do it? Most people would say yes and then not do it. Not because they don't want to, but because their underlying beliefs hold them back. You're probably telling yourself that just because it worked for him doesn't mean that it'll work for me. Or you might say, I tried that before and it didn't work. No reason to try it again. How does thinking differently work? In 1975, I read a book called The Tao of Physics by Fritjof Capra. He states that if two physicists were doing the same experiment and one physicist expects to see a particle at a specific location and the other did not, they both experienced exactly what they expected. The author was suggesting that it was the intention of the physicists that determined the outcome of the experiment. They saw what they expected to see, as do we when we look at a situation through our belief system. What is your real intention? Not the intention you tell everyone, but your real intention. An example might help. I once taught a class dealing with difficult people, and a lady came in. I asked her why she was there. She said her manager asked her to attend because he felt she was a difficult person. As we talked, she explained that her intention was to have a good relationship with her manager, but it wasn't working. She went on to say that she was excitable, and every time she got excited, her manager would ask her to calm down. She got very angry when he told her to calm down. I asked her why she got so upset by his request. She told me that her mother used to tell her the same thing when she was a little girl, and that made her so angry. My comment to her was simple. So you're responding to your manager the same way you responded to your mother when she told you to calm down. She looked, she shook her head yes, and retired to her seat. She was responding to her manager the same way she responded to her mother over 30 years ago. Her conscious intent was to create a positive relationship with her manager, but her underlying intent was to protect herself when someone told her to calm down. Her unconscious intent drove her behavior. Another example had to do with money. A business client of mine never had any money, and he wanted more. After a brief discussion, he realized that if he achieved his money goals, he would be just like his father. He did not like his father, nor did he want to be like his father. It was a major source of conflict for this person. We helped him work through that conflict to where he was able to change his thinking. This change in thinking resulted in a change of behaviors, which changed his action, which led to different results. He started making money. So how do we change our thinking? It's a simple 4-step process, but it does require vigilance. Step 1, give yourself permission to change. Many times we try to change without giving ourselves permission. Step 2, don't judge yourself or others because of what you discover. Just know that they, like you, were doing what they needed to do to protect themselves. Step 3. Expose your deepest thoughts and fears to trusted friends and advisors. One gentleman told us how ashamed he was because of his bankruptcy. He felt like a failure and a fraud. After he shared his fears and people did not reject him, he felt lightened and much more alive. That took courage. Once you shed light on your fears, they cease to have the same power. And step number 4, allow yourself to entertain new thoughts and ideas. Once you identify a specific thought or emotion that you want to change, ask yourself if you believe it. If the answer is yes, ask yourself why. Talk yourself through the belief to find out the underlying belief that's driving your behavior. Following this simple process will allow you to free yourself from specific thoughts or emotions that are holding you back. This gives you the option of replacing your belief with something more acceptable. Then try something new. You just might find out the things that didn't work in the past may start working now. If necessary, find a mastermind group to work within. Use the group to have fun while you're questioning your beliefs. The right group will change your life. Remember what Einstein said. You cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created the problem. Make a promise today that you will do something different. Change your thinking by 1 degree. If you give it a shot, you will be pleasantly surprised at the new results you will experience.